Welcome back. For those of you just joining us today, my name is Noreen, and I'm a former preschool and childcare director at Lake Barrington Academy of Stars. And my heart goes out to all the little ones that have not been in their preschool classes or seen their friends and teachers during this Stay at Home and Save Lives initiative. So I put together a short video. I've never made one before, so thank you for your patience. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope all the little ones are in the front seat here watching. The big kids and adults can sit behind, but I want all of our finest to be sitting up front row seats, all joining us. And hello to you wherever you live, from California to New York to all the countries around. We'll start out today with our story time. I just received this in the mail, and we'll be reading Fancy Flamingo Makes Friends. It's all about being brave. And then we'll do a little art and science project. I hope everyone finished up their writing project for our previous class and put that in the mail to their grandmas or grandpas or any of their loved ones. And raise your hand if you've received a letter back in the mail. Okay, grandmas and grandpas have to do a little homework too, so keep on writing. So, snail mail does take a little bit longer than email or talking on the phone, but your loved ones are going to love it, especially when you can't go to visit them. So before we start our story, I wanted to thank the entire healthcare workers in the back rooms and the front lines all around our country. They are so brave. Be strong. While our children are our future, our doctors and nurses are like our security blankets. We want to hold you close to us and lift you up. Let's get started. Fancy Flamingo Makes Friends by Noreen Anne. That's me. And you are writers too, so I want to see some of the books that you're working on. So Fancy was a young flamingo that lived in the flamingo habitat at the zoo. Every day, all the flamingos would gather together to prepare their food, clean up, and dilly-dally. Whenever Fancy asked, "Can I help?" all the flamingos giggled and responded, "Oh no, you're too little, Fancy." Freddie Flamingo would chime in. "Go play. Leave us alone. You don't know how to do anything." Fancy was sad. The other flamingos never included her. She put her head down and walked away, feeling alone. But one night, Fancy decided it was time for a change. She thought, just because I'm little doesn't mean I can't do things. She decided she would leave the habitat and explore the rest of the zoo. That night, when all the flamingos were playing, Fancy quietly walked to the back gate, but it was locked. Fancy felt discouraged. But then she remembered, just because I'm little doesn't mean I can't do things. She took a deep breath. She spread her wings and flew over the gate. She landed on the other side with a big grin and meandered down the path. As she walked by the giraffe cages, she noticed one giraffe extending his neck through the bars and smiling. Fancy introduced herself. "Hello, Giraffe. My name is Fancy." The giraffe responded, "Nice to meet you, Fancy. My name is Jerry." She smiled at Jerry and continued on her way. As she approached the lion's den, a large lion eyed her from his cage. Fancy smiled and started to introduce herself, but the lion quickly opened his toothy mouth and roared. Fancy jumped, twirled around, and hurried home. The lion was big and she was afraid. But then she remembered, just because I'm little doesn't mean I can't do things. Tomorrow I will go back and try again. The next night, after all the flamingos had gone to sleep, Fancy flew over the gate and trekked along the path. On her way, she saw Jerry Giraffe sticking his neck out. "Hello, Jerry. How are you?" she asked. "Very good, Fancy. It's nice to see you," Jerry replied. There's Jerry. He's reading his book. And there's Fancy, and there's Leo, just waiting. Fancy waved her feathers and continued down the path. Soon she arrived at the lion's den. All the lions were asleep, except for the big, loud lion who scared her yesterday. Fancy took a deep breath. She was determined to be brave. She would not let the lion scare her. "Hello, my name is Fancy. What's your name?" In his loud voice, the lion roared, "I am Leo Lion." "Nice to meet you, Leo," Fancy said. "But would you like to take a walk with me tomorrow night?" Leo was surprised. He had never spoken to a flamingo before, and he had never been asked to go on a walk with one either. Curious, Leo nodded his head. Fancy was so excited. She ran home and couldn't wait until tomorrow night. The next night, after everyone was asleep, Fancy bathed and combed her feathers. She took some deep breaths and hurried back to the lion's den. She was super excited. And it was kind of a little dark out. But as she approached the lion's gate, she spied Leo looking sad. He doesn't look so scary. He looks a little sad. "Hello, Leo," Fancy said. "Why are you so sad tonight?" Leo said, "I don't know how to get out of my cage." Fancy smiled. "I have an idea." Fancy hurried back towards the giraffe habitat where Jerry was sticking his neck out. "Hello, Jerry. Could you please help me?" she asked. What do you think he's going to do? How's the giraffe going to help? This takes some creativity. Let's see what they come up with. "Sure," he replied. He squeezed his long neck forward in between the bars. He took a deep breath in, and he took an even deeper breath out, and then he wiggled the rest of his body through the gate. Wow, that was great. They're problem solvers. Wow. Quickly, they headed over to the lion's den where Leo was waiting. "Leo, this is my friend Jerry Giraffe. We're going to help you get out of your cage." Here they are, new friends. Jerry stuck his long neck between the gate, lowered his back legs. Fancy flew over and stood behind Leo to give him a push. Slowly, Leo climbed up and over and arrived safely on the other side of the gate. Wow, that lion looks kind of scared. But Jerry's pretty happy to help out there. Even the alligator, the crocodile there is watching. "We did it," Fancy exclaimed. Leo smiled and gave Fancy and Jerry a high five. The three new friends went for a walk around the zoo. As they passed the flamingo habitat, Freddie Flamingo woke up. They were all sleeping, but Freddie wakes up. Fancy Flamingo is out, Freddie cried, waking up all the other flamingos. And a big lion and giraffe have escaped. Mother Flamingo saw the big lion and giraffe coming up behind Fancy. She quickly flipped over to protect her. Oh, that lion looks pretty intimidating now. What do you think he's going to do? I think he's going to stick up for Fancy. Let's see. Let's turn the page. No, Fancy shouted. These are my friends. She lifted one wing and turned to Jerry and said, this is my friend, Jerry Giraffe. She turned, smiled, and lifted her other wing to introduce Leo. This is my friend Leo Lion, she said proudly. Let's turn the page. The flamingos were shocked. Look at them. They had never seen such a thing before. Fancy, you're too little. You're too little to play with big lions and giraffes, sneered Freddie Flamingo. What does Fancy say? Fancy stood tall with her friends at her side and replied, I may be little, but I can be brave. Is there someone you know that has been brave? Did I hear someone say, Mom, maybe your dad? How about your sister? Maybe your brother? How about you? How about you? You are braver than you know. And I challenge you today to do something brave. That might be just doing something you've never done before, like Fancy. I know you can do that. Being brave is different for everyone. Right now, it might be staying home when you want to go out and about. Being brave might be honest when it's easier to lie. I challenge you today to be brave and let me know what you're doing at home to be brave. I'd love to hear from all of you, from the little ones, even the older ones. Our theme today, being brave and totally thankful. A thank you for all the non-essential workers and businesses, supposedly non-essential, but we know how essential they are, like all the hair salons. After being quarantined for some time, I had to cut my own bangs. And we've always told our preschoolers, and now the adults, don't do it. To all of our so-called non-essential workers, we absolutely, definitely miss you. Stay strong and come back whenever you can. So we're going to take a pause here. We're going to do a little stretch, maybe a sun salutation, maybe flap your arms like a bird. And in school, this is where we do a little stand up and take a little break, little bathroom break and snack.